Hi, my name is David, and in this presentation, I'm going to talk about two issues faced by the mangrove forests in the municipality of Ouidah in Benin, named demographic pressure and salt production. This presentation will follow this outline. We'll start with an introduction, go into the details of the problematic, some benefit that we gain from the mangrove forest, the situation of sub-production and demographic pressure, some alternatives that have been provided for this population. We finish with some recommendation and the conclusion. As a developing country in West Africa, Benin Republic is convinced that tourists will be one of the main assets on which to build the economy of the country. And this is well stated in the action plan of the government since 2016. It is therefore important to identify, develop, and enhance the attractiveness of site and location with the tourist potential, such as Ouidah, which played a key role during the transatlantic slave trade between the 14th and 18th centuries. And this UNESCO site of the door of no return is a perfect example of this ambition, with, in these recent years, an emphasis on ecotourism. However, the rapid growth of the population coupled with the urbanization have been causing some major challenge to historical site as well as natural resources in the municipality of Ouidah. That is why in this presentation, we are going to investigate the impact of demographic pressure and salt production activity on the main asset of ecotourism in the municipality of Ouidah, named the mangrove forest. Ouidah is one of the 8 municipalities in the Atlantic region and is about 40 kilometers far from Cotonou, the main city of Benin. The sub-equatorial climate of Ouidah is soft and characterized by 2 rainy seasons, alternate with 2 dry seasons of an equal duration. The average temperature and annual precipitation are respectively 27 degrees Celsius and 12,000 millimeters of rain. The land cover types include grassy savanna, swamp, and mangrove forests, which are mainly located in coastal district of Avlekete, Jegbaji, and Wakwadaho. Due to the presence of the lagoon of Ouidah and the Atlantic Ocean, communities in these 3 villages practice fishing, horticulture, and salt production. However, salt production is the main economic activity in these districts and involve almost every household. With the increase or the rapid growth of the population of more than 200% over the last 2 decades, there is more and more demand for firewood in order to meet household and salt production activity. This situation has induced a progressive destruction of mangrove forests and therefore pose a substantial challenge for the protection and conservation of these mangrove forests, which many species rely on in their ecosystem. So the main problematic is what action can be undertaken in order to preserve this mangrove ecosystem while enabling alternative solution for salt production. In other words, how can we save both the mangrove forests and the economic activities of this population? But first, let's look at some benefits that population and surrounding environment can gain from mangrove forests. The term mangrove actually refers to wetland ecosystem of plants that have evolved and adapt in the interface between land and ocean in humid climate region of in the tropics. In sub-Saharan Africa, mangroves have fulfilled important roles such as providing wood and non-wood forest product, uh, acting as a coastal protection against wind, um, climate change, as well as coastal erosion, providing a conservation, fulfilling a conservation role for biological diversity, and providing also habitat and nurturing environment for fishes and many aquatic species, as well as for migrant birds. In these recent days, mangrove also have been reported to provide, to contribute to economic development. Now, what is the state of mangrove forest in the municipality of Ouidah? While communities can benefit or gain huge benefit from mangrove forests, they are under high demographic pressure in the municipality of Ouidah. And this bar chart is showing the evolution of the population of Ouidah over the last 2 decades. And as we can all see, the population passed from about 70,000 to almost 200,000 inhabitants from 1992 to 2016, which means more than 200 growth rate over the last 2 decades. And all this without any proper or precise planning from the municipality. All this impose then a serious threat on the sustainability of the mangrove forest. Now, let's consider salt production. The presence of the lagoon of Ouidah have been a great asset for the communities of these districts because it offers them the opportunity to produce salt and then feed the local consumption market, even though it is not sufficient to meet the full demand. With the withdrawal of the lagoon water during the dry season, the production chain begins with the collection of salted stunt cruise, which is then mixed with water from the lagoon and filtered through a locally built filter, which you can see on the right side. The filter is also equipped with a pipe at the bottom that serves to collect the brine, which is a highly concentrated salty water. Salt production itself is based on a chemical process called crystallization, in which salty solution evaporate, precipitates, and then settle down to form the sodium chloride. These women in the production of salt use 53 kilograms of wood to produce 3.5 kilograms of raw salt out of 25 liters of brine within 2 hours. And on the right, you can also see the traditional stove that they use, which has a shape of an empty cylinder with an opening on the side for the wood and 3 at the top for the bow. But as this over-exploitation of the mangrove have been a serious concern, there have been quite some actions to limit the damage. And the first was the initiative of restoration of the mangrove forest between 1998 and 1999, initiated by the government of Benin. This was followed by the issuance of a decree to prohibit the exploitation of any kind of coastal resources, including the mangrove forest. But there are also other options such as solar salt production and some project to equip these women with alternative or improved stove. And on the right, you can see the Mivo stove that was proposed by the PNUD. Some issue that they face with this alternative solution are mainly concerning the solar salt production. It is not welcome by this population who state that producing salt from solar does not guarantee a safe and healthy salt at the end of the process. But beside that, we can also say that using this alternative solution take more time and also consume, in many cases, a lot of time compared to the traditional stove. And that is why at the end of this, we recommend at the country level to reinforce the decree on prohibition of the exploitation of coastal resources such as the mangrove, and also to sensitize the population of this region to know how and what to do. At the municipality level, we advise that there should be more collaboration with the communities in order to take their input regarding this alternative solution and therefore improve their quality. And we also advise the development of a plantation of wood that will also serve for in the meantime. So in conclusion, we see that mangrove forests represent a valuable asset for Benin and in particular Ouidah municipality. But with the population growth and salt activity, this asset of the mangrove is then threatened and can even disappear. That is why, beside the laws and decrees that have been taken, there should be more activities and more initiative to improve the solution that they have now, and also go for no wood solution. This comes to the end of my presentation, and thank you. If you have any question, feel free.